Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and coming up in today's newscast, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah claiming that all of Israel is within range of the terror group's missile launchers. Meanwhile, shocking allegations of a police cover-up conspiracy in which a Bedouin man condemned as a supposed terrorist. And finally, for those planning to visit Israel, ILTV invites special guest Ohad the Nomad for some new itinerary suggestions. Neither Tel Aviv nor Jerusalem included on the list. Renewed threats levied against Israel from northern neighbor Lebanon, and this courtesy of the latest televised interview with Hezbollah terror group leader Hassan Nasrallah. Amidst the ongoing maritime border dispute between Israel and Lebanon, Hezbollah terror group chief Hassan Nasrallah issuing renewed threats. Nasrallah saying that all of Israel, including all, quote, land and sea targets, are within the range of Hezbollah's missiles.
إذا بدأ استخراج النفط والغاز من كاريش بأيلول ولبنان بعد ما أخذ حقه يعني وإحنا على المشكل.
فماذا سنفعل؟
بتشوفي يومتها. هلا حقول شو بدنا نعمل؟
يعني يمكن أن تضرب منصات إسرائيلية فعلا؟
شوف نحن حطينا هدف وكل ما يحقق هذا الهدف سنلجأ إليه بدون أي تردد.
The head of the Lebanon-based Iran proxy terror group making the statements to the pro-Hezbollah media station Al Mayadin, and the rhetoric continuing in line with previous warnings against Israel's gas extraction from its newest Karish gas field. The field lies in Mediterranean waters that Lebanon is now claiming for itself, and Hezbollah already sending at least 4 drones towards the gas platform last month, all of which were intercepted by the IDF. Nasrallah warning that the drones were only the beginning and that Hezbollah would go to war with Israel if necessary, and not just for Karish, but for all of the gas fields that have been, quote, looted by Israel in Palestine's waters, end quote. But that said, Lebanon actually gave up its claims to the maritime zone in which Karish is located, this during ongoing negotiations brokered by the United States. Joining me now with more on Hezbollah's latest threats against Israel, former National Security Advisor and Research Fellow at both the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security and at the Jewish Institute for the National Security of America, Major General Reserves Yaakov Amidou. Major General, thank you very much for being with us. Now, what do you make of Nasrallah's statements, and who are they more intended for, Israelis or Lebanese?
I think that most of all for Nasrallah today, number one priority is to gain back his legitimacy in Lebanon. The Lebanese understood that the bad situation of their state, the fact that they have less electricity per day in Beirut than in Gaza Strip, they have to thank Hezbollah and Nasrallah, who is the leader of Hezbollah. And now Nasrallah tried to gain back the legitimacy by saying, I'm defending your interest. I will not let the Israelis to take gas from the sea when you cannot take it. We are in the middle of a negotiations led by the United States of America. And if will be an agreement, he will say, it's only because of me. It's the best agreement that could achieve, only thanks to my efforts and the fact that I was ready to defend Lebanon. Well, so if it will not be an agreement, then the decision will be very, in the Israeli side, should be continue to take the gas from this place, or to begin to take the gas from this place to explode the Karish, or not. My recommendation will be, if the Americans will say, we cannot reach an agreement, Israel should continue with its plan.
Well, so how involved in these negotiations, in the gas field negotiations, is Hezbollah, and are the Lebanese people largely believing this rhetoric? Do they believe Nasrallah when he says he's defending their interests?
I think that Nasrallah lost the trust of many Lebanese. Lebanese that in the past really believe that Nasrallah is promoting, helping, guarding the interest of Lebanon. Now, many Lebanese understand that it is not the issue for Nasrallah, it's Nasrallah and Hezbollah and not Lebanon. And he is ready to prevent any agreement shown by someone as kind of normalization with Israel, than to allow Lebanon to flourish based on the money which might come from the explorations in the sea.
So how seriously should Israel then be taking these statements, these threats? Is it the usual bluster, political, pandering for the Lebanese, or is there something more? Is Israel close to confrontation with Hezbollah?
So here again, logically, it should not promote a war against Israel. He should not initiate a war against Israel, because he will get such a blow that he will be surprised again, more than in 2006. But I cannot guarantee that will be the attitude of Nasrallah. He might think that he has some cards that we don't know about, and he will try to blackmail Israel, and that might lead to a war. So the army should be very well prepared to really put a date saying this is the date to which we are preparing ourselves. These are all the items that the item project that we have to make and to fulfill and to be sure that it is 100% ready. That is the army. At the same time, with any connection, the government should continue with the Americans' diplomatic efforts, because there is no logic in going to a war on an area that there is a lot of very, very, I'll say on the other side negatively, there is very few gaps between what Lebanon is demanding and Israel is willing to give.
All right. Now, the IDF censors recently confirmed for publication that Israel uses armed drones in cross-border warfare. The censors said that revealing this bears no impact on operational capability. But is that all there is to it, or is there maybe a psychological warfare, portion of it against Hezbollah and others in the region?
No, I think the Hezbollah knows it very well. They had an experience during the years, and they know that Israel has this capability. I don't think that it is changing any assessment of any of our enemies. It is known all around the world.
All right. Major General Yaakov Amidou, thank you so much again for joining us.
You are most welcome.
Moving on, questionable circumstances surrounding a supposed terror attack in 2017 now clearing up. And if true, the new details are damnable. A former senior police authority now making claims of a cover-up conspiracy. A shocking revelation with potentially enormous repercussions. A recently fired Israeli cop unveiling a politically motivated conspiracy surrounding a supposed terror attack in al-Hiran 5 years ago. January 2017, police inexplicably shot Yaqub al-Kiyan as he was driving home to an unrecognized Bedouin village slated for demolition. But after being shot, al-Kiyan lost control of his car, which rammed into a group of officers, killing one. And those officers, believing they were under attack, fired again, killing al-Kiyan. The incident sparking nationwide demand for investigation. To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.